We're living just over the road here in Anna. Yeah, yeah. He would be perceived that time as being a very bad fellow, whatever. That his record would be very dubious, and he would have hammered locals. But if you go back and look at the history of the thing, he had a he had a body of yeomen here, which would be made up of local people around the place. So they came in here and practiced in his place here in the Mount, and he provided all the armaments, whatever that was. There wouldn't be much of them that time or whatever, but he would provide all that. And if you wanted to frighten someone, you say, "Watch out for the hunter gun." And that was a great thing down here. Well, the story was that he fell just a bridge down here, outside just in the Ban River here, going around the corner there. His son was supposed to have fallen from a horse, or he was supposed to have fallen from a horse and broke his neck there. That was incorrect. He lived till he was 97, and he died in 1824. He's buried up in graveyard in Hollyford.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And what was the story with the your ancestor with the one arm? That was.
Oh yeah, there's a story there that this happened at obviously there was a lot of insurgents, as we would call them, or whatever, that time as opposed to the yeomen. And my ancestor, whom I'm called after, actually Timothy Francis Darcy, and that's 6 generations ago. That's amazing. And down in the country, the farmers in particular, they stay in one place nearly all the time. But way back in 1934, I had an uncle died, John Darcy, and he was being buried in the old graves, the Darcy graves, down in Pioneer Cemetery. So anyway, there was two men at home who was down digging the grave, and they came across this skeleton. And anyway, they got afraid. They came up from my father. Said, "We better go up for the boss." They came up from my father, and dug away. He said, "Dig her up," and he says, "Put the skeleton out and take it out of the grave, put it on the side of it, and then when you're deep in the grave enough, put it back in and cover it up." At that stage, the coffin, there would be no sign of the coffin or anything because you were talking about years and years like. But anyway, they took out the skeleton and they put it out on the side of the grave, and there was one arm. And the story for that is in 1798, my ancestor, whom my father was involved in as a yeoman. No, sorry, as an insurgent, and he was fighting all the time. But Gowan was sort of sick of him. There was a skirmish up in Kilniner one night, and there was two yeomen killed in it. And seemingly this man was a very tall man, said he was 7 feet. Anyway, could have been 6 feet 6 because people weren't that tall that time. And if you were even 6 feet that time, you'd be tall. But he seemed he was a very tall man. And there was two insurgents or two yeomen killed up there in Kilnina, which is up just going into Balafad. And Hunter Gowan recognised this big tall man, so they knew who it was. There was nobody around as big as him anyway. So we came down the next day uh, with a retinue of soldiers to hang him. That time, like a Hunter Gowan and Hunter Gowan would have the powers to hang somebody or justice of the peace, which really gave him the power of a judge. So, particularly in those days, when the 1798 was waging, they had extraordinary powers, and they could actually hang a man if they could identify him as being, going against the crown, as it were. But anyway, he was coming down the coming down the lane anyway, and John Charles, who lived across the Ban River, down in Kids Lower Place, as we call it, he knew that he was up to his neck in this thing anyway, and he came over. Now, he was a Protestant, but he was, if you like, an insurgent Protestant, like, he was with our side, as we call it, whatever you like to put it. But he came across the river anyway, and John Hunter Gowan had a rope pegged over a branch of a tree up, going to hang him. And he said, Captain Gowan, he says, what are you doing, my good neighbour, what are you doing? He says, we're going to hang this man because he was identified last night as being the perpetrator in I losing two of my men. Charles spoke up and he said, he had the same power now as Gowan had. He said, that man was with me all night, he was a good neighbour, and I vouch for him that he wasn't there at the time you were talking about. And he said, damn you, Charles, and he took out his sword out of his scabbard, and he cut the arm off and left it down beside him. And he says, you kill no more of my young men. But anyway, just when they took out the skeleton, down out of the grave, one arm.
Yeah. Frank, did the Omen, well, they were obviously British.
Yeah.
And was his army, the soldiers and all the soldiers, they were British, were they?
No.
Were they locals?
They would be locals.
Local people joined them?
Yes.
That must have caused an awful lot of acrimony between the locals.
Well, yes, but that time, the fact of the matter is that there would be a cavalry here, or yeoman cavalry, whatever you call them. They would be formed by locals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and they would be trained. They would train up here.
Yeah, like the regiment
as well.
Yeah, to join the army.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
like the way the kids joined the British Army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no school around here, no primary school, until 1900, up in Ballythomas, until 1900. So the education in the primary area was very bad up to there. And it was intermittent in other places as well. They start up a school and then they close it up for different reasons. But there was no proper national school now as we have now, that time. But there was then, it started up in 1900 in the gap above, Ballythomas.
You're looking into a national school. The Christian Brothers would have been huge for us. You nearly have to do an exam to get into it. So we were only in the national schools, Yeah. But around that time, as I say, it was 1957 actually, and we used to, now Frank will tell you about the story about hunting and driving cattle. We used to hunt the cattle from the cattle market. All the farmers would bring the cows up to the cattle market, and we'd hunt them from there down to the slaughterhouse in Moore Street, and we'd get paid sixpence. We do 3 runs up and down. Sometimes we take a little bit off school, because Wednesday was the day of the cattle. And then you get more if you drove the cattle. Now the man that be driving the cattle, we'd be with him, because we'd have to run, stop them going down the streets. You could drive into the north wall, and they'd be going over to, they go onto the Guinness boat. We'd hunt them onto the Guinness boat up the ramp, and they'd go over to Liverpool on the Lady Maid. The Lady Maid would take half people, and there's half cattle and half people on it. But one particular time we were driving down the cattle, there was 3 of us, and we drove the cattle down. We used to scut on the back of the car, on the back of a truck, to get back up to the cattle market to get another run. And we were on a Guinness's low loader. That was a Guinness low loader with the wooden barrels. You'd have a Hessian sack, just when the barrels roll off it. But one young fella, we had a corporation house.
Where was it?
In Lindenhall Street, off North King Street. And there were houses built there, red brick houses, but then the tenements were at the back of us. There was tenement houses at the back of us. and there was this young fellow with me, and there was three of us, and I had to get off at North. We were squatting on the back of the low loader, and I had to get off it because I had to get meat for my mother in the butcher's. So I got off on North King Street to go up to the butcher's and said, I'll see you with the cattle market. And before I even got back down to the butcher's, the lad that I was with must have caught his foot on the wheel instead of on the bar and rolled over, boom, and mashed him. Yeah, that was 1957. When you think about it, 7 years of age. Now, it no effect on me because I don't know, when you're a kid, it doesn't seem to affect you. But you still remember it because it was in the papers. Well, the roads at them weren't bad, but there was no heavy traffic. With Frank, just an old Volkswagen. I think the battery was 6-volt there. 6-volt battery was hard to start.
You want to strike a match to see was it light?
Yeah, and in the winter time, the imbalance because the Beetle had the engine in the back. The lads like Frank, fellas that would be older than me, they were starting to drive. I'd be only younger. They put a sack of sand in the front of it to make it balance because it'd be skidding on the ice.
Yeah.
Be going like that. No, my dad had a push bike because there were 6 boys. So my dad was a tailor. And then eventually he got a car, but he didn't like driving. He had a car. We used to jump on the runner. Remember the old prefect?
Yeah.
And we jump on the runner squatting. Yeah. But it wasn't for the price of having the car. Well, eventually did have a car, but he didn't like driving because he used to work overtime and he'd be going in the bike into the savings.
Did you have a car growing up?
We had most of the time. So we had one in the 40s now,
Did you ever use horses for work or anything?
Oh, we did the horse.
Yeah.
We used to have 2 pairs of horses for ploughing. And Harry, we only got a tractor 1947. Then the horses, we discontinued walking the horses then. But not till 1947. We had an old Folkestone Major. And changed the whole thing in regards farming. You could plough and you could harrow and sit up on it, But the horses were to smaller farmers. They used to bloody well eat too much on them, So I was good to get rid of them. Really, a horse eats a lot. It takes a lot to keep him up. And if you had a smallish farm, it wouldn't be good.
To talk about the horses, because in my mind, there was a man who delivered the coal to us, and his name was Jack the Coalman, and he was like that. He was a very frail man, and my mother used to get a sack of coal. I don't know, say once every few months, whenever she needed it, and she gets a sack of coal. And people used to say, "Will you bring me over?" And he'd say, "Don't stop me here." He'd have a flat cap with the peak on it, and it'd be down like that. He'd have a hessian sack on off the coal. And the cap would be down like that, and you'd have a big sack of coal, and his poor nose would be running, and I'd be lashing rain, and be saying, "Don't stop me here, don't," and say, "In here, Mrs. Nolan, where is it?" Where? And he put it in, and it was that. My mother used to take that with sympathy on him. She'd say, "Stay where you are, stay where you are," and she'd put on the kettle. I put on the kettle. It wasn't an electric kettle. She put it on the gas, and boil the water, and then do the tea, and he'd have a cup of tea, and he'd be delighted there. And then I said, "How do you get up?" So the tenement house, but I was only a kid. I say, and the new flats, they were starting to build new flats. So how do you bring the sacks of coal up there? And she, "Son, they wouldn't have the price of a bag of coal. I weigh it on the shuttle thing and do a stone of coal, and they bring down the galvanised bucket. I roar, Coil!
But your family had horses somewhere back, didn't they?
Yeah, my mother's people had horses. I actually think they used horse and carts for like taxis in the day. In the yard, they were known for having horses. And my uncle used to bring over. He didn't nothing to do with race horses, but he used to get him to whatever you call it, a horse minder. When the horses would be going to Italy for races and jumping and all, he was great at controlling the horses on the airplanes. And Billy was in Shake Hands with the Devil. There was 6 horses. I believe his heart is there, 6 horses. And he was doing the 6 horses. And we all went to see them in Smithfield. I think it was Shake Hands with the Devil was the name of the film. And They were all dressed in black and that big hat, sure you couldn't see anybody. You wouldn't be allowed in. Look, see the light you have, there was all them lights around and you couldn't get near that. But it was a great atmosphere. Anyway.
Well, I remember about 10 or 12 at the time, and Sean Nolan was an Irish teacher, and he was a musician as well, and he had classes up in an old technical school up in Palace. So we used to go all up there a couple of evenings a week, and we used to do Irish dancing. We all could Irish dance around in the area, and he was a lovely, lovely accordion player as well. He was very good. His family are still down in Coleraine. He was very good, and that was the best, I suppose, best effort we made to dancing. But then, as we got older, we danced. We used to go to dances, 17, 18. But that time, we danced, and if you went into a dance at 10 o'clock, if a dance at 9 or 10, you were late. Now, if you went at 12, you were early, like, because we had very little money to. There's nobody drinking or anything like that. We hadn't the money to drink, and we used to all go in. The quarter in particular was the focal point, the dancing, with all the big bands down there and all. But it was brilliant. There used to be a couple of thousand in it sometimes, but all over the summer, we dances in Thursday and Saturday night and Sunday night, and it was absolutely brilliant. But everybody could dance well, and we used to have a ladies' choice then, and the ladies' choice, how you were getting on, you always knew how well you were getting on or how bad you were getting on. And the ladies' choice would always be the second last dance. So if you want to do business, you want to do business. If not, you're out of business. Simple as that.
Was Frank, was that the business in dancing or was it the business in kissing?
Yeah, but it's amazing how good people, everybody were dancing that time. They were very good. Foxtrot, waltz, and foxtrot and waltz, and a quick step. Those were the three big dances that time. And the big show bands were all down there. Terrible. Yeah, excellent. I've made it. Built it up down there now. They've made it Pig's Ear. They've done a very bad job on it. It's on the right hand side of Whitcourt down there.
Oh, there used to be the Beacon.
Yeah.
That big place, yeah. I know.
We made a mess of it.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful place.
Well, can I tell you what about, there was a man used to go down, as Frank said, there was little money. After the 40s, well, we were in the 50s, but there's no money around. Nobody had any money, really. Nobody. We were in short trousers. Well, there was an outfit who used to go down on a horse and cart, and he'd have balloons and the little things that fly in the wind, and he'd be roaring, rags, bottles, or jam jars. Rags, bottles, or jam jars. So we'd get every coat that my ma didn't want. I was thinking, do you want to get or you might get a goldfish out of them in a little bag.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that I remember going around in the streets. Yeah. But sure, you'd be robbed. They'd give you nothing.
I don't hear when you talk about suspicious, Jennifer, that every big house in the country from around here was on its own, was haunted. Or supposedly haunted. It wasn't, of course, but we always, that time people were much more afraid of whatever was in the dark than they are now. And if there was a big house, particularly up here in the mount, the hunter gang was supposed to be riding around horses and a whole lot of other things as well, but it was a famous place. And I remember when it was being sold, and there was a fellow in the bank in Gorey, and he came out to look at it. And it was a sort of a dull evening now, and it was in the fall of the year, in November. And there was a bit of a fog rising, and he got afraid, and he turned around and went back in again. Frightened the life out.
Jeez.
That happened. He told himself he got a friend. Turned around and went on in again. And he was like,
Give you one more little tidbit. In school, we'd never get off school, and we were all kids, and there was 48 in my class, and we'd be saying, when is this fella Devilier going to die, or how do we get a day off school? You know, but we did get a day off. The Ben Hur and the Ten Commandments came to the cinema, and we all got a half day off from doing the pictures. Now, we were all in the city, so there was.
in the ambassador.
I should got to say,
Went to the
two
home
words
up
about
there.
there was the ambassador, the Adelphi, the Savoy, the Carlton, the Plaza, and there was one on the quay called the Corinthian cinemas. They were the cinemas. So you pick one of those. But Frank said I was in the ambassador we went to see. I don't know, I think it was the Ten Commandments we got off for. But that had been around
1960.
Yeah, I was just going to say around that time. Yeah, we were 10 and we got off school.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
half of them didn't go. See, we were mad on football. That was played football, and half of us didn't go because we were playing football on the street. And when the kids came back, we were saying, "Tell us what's the Ten Commandments about?"
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah, I did see it. I went to see it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah,
that. I had my left shoulder out 8 times. So by the time I was 26, I had to give it up. But we all played GA down in the country here. Most of it, we all played. And we went, it's extraordinary that you mentioned that, Jennifer, but I'd walk up across from my own place in Anna, straight up across up the Van River and up into Dunsfield that time. I'd say as the crow flies, a couple of miles anyway. We kicked football then and whatever, and you'd take off your clothes and you put them in a rabbit for it, so they wouldn't get wet. And then you put them on again, walk home. Now I see now the kids playing now. They wouldn't walk 10 yards to a pitch.
That'd be driven.
It's amazing. They'd be driven everywhere.
Yeah.
But we were tough and hardy that time. And I would say, to be fair, particularly if you're playing junior football, you earn your pay, and I'd say a lot of us that played junior football that time would probably get a jail sentence now if we played the way we played then. Now we wouldn't get away with it, like, you know.
I think the referee was even afraid of them.
Yeah.
Oh, before the horses, Frank is a great one about the horses. About, I think it was his that granddad.
Oh yeah, my grandfather told my father, and he tell us that. I'm talking about the 1860s and 70s. And they used to go to Dublin to sell bacon and eggs. And they go in a convoy, about 9 horses and cars. And they go up, and it took 2 days going up, 2 days coming home. But they're being flitches of bacon. They cure the bacon first, they'll have it cured, either smoked or done with salt or cured with salt, one or the other. And they'll have it in cars, and they'll have a lot of stuff, and they go to Dublin with it. But on the way up, they'd stop in the Glen of the Downs that night, like it'd be near night again to get there. And they stopped there. And they used to have to leave 3 lads minding the stuff, or to come down, the robbers to come down out of the Glen of the Downs and take the stuff.
Dirty fellas from Dublin.
Amazing, wasn't it? And then they go on in the next day, and they were the 3 hardiest lads that were going up were left to mind the thing. Isn't that amazing?
I'd say his grandfather was probably one of them.
He was.
With a big axe.
He was. Yeah. And cows.
Oh yeah. I tell you
And
what,
cows.
my dad had pigs. My dad's parents had pigs. They had a pig yard, and they used to go around. I'll tell you what happened now. I'm glad you mentioned that. My dad was from Francis Street, and my mother was from the Coombe as well. She's from Coombe Street. So they're both Liberties, 3 generations Liberties together. But in my dad's place, Donnelly's Sausages, one of them big bacon factories opened up there, doing all the sausage meat and killing pigs and all. And the people had no money. So what Donnelly's used to do is they'd give every family that would take one bonnet, is that what you call it? A baby pig.
Yeah.
And they,
Bonnet.
you have to feed the pig with the slop. They call them slops. They go around with a wheelbarrow
Yeah.
and collect all the slops from everybody's house and bring them back, and you feed the pig. And when you fatten them up, you bring them down to Donnelly's, and they pay it for the weight of the pig. But when people got a bit better, my dad had a big yard out the back in it was a half door. I remember as a kid, I just barely remember my grandfather dying, but because he was on the bed was just a long slab. But there's a half door and people just leave the shawls hanging like that. And out the yard you had the pigs. But you had them, I don't know what type of the terrier, I know it was an Irish terrier. It was a terrier and anyway, and it was great. One snap and it catches the rat by the neck. No, I never actually seen it, but my dad was telling me. So he just catches the rat, boom, boom, because the pigs that do all that. They bred the pigs there and they made a few bob out of it. That's all I know about the pigs.
You talk about the pigs. Down the country, most people had a pig like you, and they used to feed them the slops in the house or whatever the whole year and whatever. But you maybe have them for a year, then you kill the pig or sell them, one or the other. But they usually used to kill them and salt them and have bacon or whatever. But there's a saying that if somebody had a big stomach, he has a big belly on him like a June pig.
That's a great saying, yeah.
You got the June pig, you got more like a June, like with more stuff to get him, like, you know.
Wait, but gentlemen, I just come in. No, I know different times of Frank, because they're different people, different generation, different country. People wouldn't believe this. My mother used to get a half a pig's cheek, put it in the pot, the air and all, the whole lot, and that'd be made for your dinner. And another day, you might get like a stew with a pig's tail in it going up to it as far as his bum, and that'd be. And then a Saturday night, we'd have about 6 pig's feet, they were crew beans, and we used to mill them.
Best stuff. Best of it.
Periwinkles, I'll give you a good one about that. The periwinkles, we were in corporation houses, and there'd be 20 houses on this side, a little garden there, a communal garden, and then another 20 houses on the far side. And the third house down, these used to sell the black market tickets for the pictures. Now, I just explained that. Just say Ben Hur was on and you couldn't get in. Well, these people go down and buy 20 tickets, go in an hour, then send somebody else in, then somebody else in. Then when I start going with a girl, I'll be going downtown and I say, do you want tickets, Tommy? Do you want tickets? And I say, yeah, the 3 and 6. Well, the 4 and 6, we have to make something, you know, Tommy. So I'd have to give them, and that's how they made their money with the tickets. And that's why I say they stand outside the Adelphi, the Ambassador, all the big cinemas, and they make their money. But the periwinkles, this woman 3 doors down, this was the mother of the woman that said the tickets. They're all, whoever was a dealer, they're all dealers, like Muir Street and all. And what she'd do is, she'd go down to the fish market, and when the periwinkles would come in, either in June or July, summer, they used to sell big onion bags of periwinkles. So she'd bring them home and put them into big aluminium pots and put them on the gas stove and boil them for hours. And we'd be playing football now, and then we'd go in and say, periwinkles, and you get them. There's no bags around, and you get a piece of newspaper, and you get a pen, and you'd be eating like that. We'd be all sitting on the footpath. Half time, we'd be sitting on that, and we'd be throwing the winkles out. You know better. And there'd be fellas going, my fucking car, with them winkles, had to punch on the wheel in my bike.
Oh, yeah.
We love ray fishing. If not a lot of people would know this. I mean, down the country, and they have different things down here. They have hake and all. We'd have ray, and we'd go in. My mother would send me around for a one-on-one, and a one-on-one was a long ray and a chip. Long ray. Now, the long ray, say the ray is like that, with the 2 wings, that's a wing of a ray, but the centre piece has the most flesh on it. So that was a long ray. Now, they're hard to get, but they were beautiful. Now, Lucy still gets ray, because some people ask Lucy at the counter when they're going shopping in that, where's it? Super Queen, is that what you call it? Pettits. So you go down there, there were people who say to me, eventually you're married to my way, saying that, how do you eat that? How do you cook it? And they used to be saying, you cook it on that side and you cook it like that and then you take it off the bone, and I said, don't be telling them there'll be no ray left.
I'll tell you a good one about fish. I remember this height, and we used to go down and fish, get the salmon out of the Van River during the winter. It'd be up from about November till the end of January. But every Sunday anyway, we used to have to go to First Mass. Everyone went to First Mass. And everybody had to go out and get the cows slaughtered and everything done and get down on the river. And we'd go from Hollyford right up to Palace. And there could be 20 or 25 people there. But we nearly always got enough salmon to give every household a salmon.
Lovely.
Yeah. These are salmon that some of them be up to 14, 15 pound weight, like, you know. Beautiful salmon. They'd be up to spawn, like, you know. But of course, if it were caught that time.
What do you call it? The bailiff.
The bailiff, there was no such thing as a bailiff that time.
Right.
But anyway, for a long story short, there was very good food and they were beautiful to eat and everything else. Come up to spawn. And it's amazing that even though we'd be taking a lot of them out of the river, but it'd be the same number they'd come up next year again. And we used to, I definitely get 10 days during that period when you'd have salmon. Beautiful salmon. And we used to get them with spears.
Oh, I stabbed them in them.
Stabbed them with spears. And they were all, one was better than the other, stabbing the salmon. He stabbed that about 2 feet in front of his head when he's in the river, coming his best. Then you get him.
So you should be skillful to do that.
You don't go down on you don't go down on his back, be gone.
Ah.
So you go that much ahead of him.
Ah, wait for
About
it.
3 feet of water. But we're deadly at it.
Good time, man.
How many generations are you here living in this area?
9.
9 generations.
And what's that go back to 1850, like that?
Well, back in the 16th century. Go back to then.
Wow.
In Anna area, is it?
In Anna.
And where did you come from, Frank? Did you come from?
We were Normans.
That's a long time ago.
Normans.
Oh yeah, so
Both
France.
Anglems and Darcy's are Norman
Oh.
names. They'd be from France then.
Oh, Anglin was your mammy's name, was it? No,
Yeah.
Your mammy's name, was it?
Anglem.
Oh, yeah.
But at that time, I said, that they came over with the Normans who were over there at that time. That sure, for most of the royalty in the UK were Normans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Mary
were
Dixon.
for the 11, 12, 13, 14, and the present royalty in the UK are Normans, from Normans. A big spread of Germans with them as well, like.
And Frank, then just saying that, isn't that where all these names Fitzwilliam,
Absolutely.
Fitz.
Darcy,
Rees Mogg is belongs to
DA, the apostrophe is there, like,
yeah. Is Rees Mogg part of them?
Uh,
No, that fellow Rees Mogg with the haircut. Isn't he?
oh yeah.
He's part of them.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
say, surely.
Right, Jenny, one more little one. Go back to 1966. Bill Haley. I was 16 and pal of mine thought he was a great singer. He loved the Beatles. And I was on my first year apprentice and I bought a Honda 50. And I said, where's Bill Haley playing? And he said, play in Harcourt Street. So it was in the Cavalier Club. This was a disco dancing, with the beat and all that. So we said, we'll have a go at that. And I got on the Honda 50, Montague Lane, I'll never forget it. Went to Honda 50, parked outside. Went to see it. We seen Bill Haley. We were telling everybody we seen Bill Haley with a call down here. And we came out, Honda 50 was gone. So, yes, the thing was gone, So I was in Kevin Street Tech and the police station was just across the road, man. So I knew where the red big police station was. So I said, come on, we go around here. I went around and I said, I want to report my bike it was a Honda 50. So it was taken outside the Cavalier Club. I said, here, we'll have it in the yard here with the bikes. I said, what? Are you up to going around Mercer Street flats? Going around. I said, Joe's got the bike at home.
No bother, you got it.
Yeah. Look. I met my love by the gaswork wall. Dreamed a dream by the old canal. I kissed my girl by the factory wall. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Clouds are drifting across the moon. Cats are prowling on their beat. Springs a girl from the street at night. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Hear the siren from the docks. I saw the train set the night on fire. Smell the spring from the smoky wind. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Gonna make me a good strong axe. Shining steel, tempered in the fire. We chop you down like an old oak tree. Dirty old town, dirty old town. Sin Will, go near and bother that.
There you go. Well done, Harry. Very good.